Write the following numbers in order of size, starting with the smallest number. The smallest number is -6. The next smaller number is -5. The next is 0. The next is 6. And the largest number is 12. Plot the point with the coordinates to 9 and label at point B. So it's definitely gonna be to up 9. It's gonna be here. And I'll label that point B. Now on the next point, our shop sells desktop computers, laptops, and tablets, and the composite bar chart shows information about the sales over the last 2 years. So we have the keys, the dark one desktops, the stripe laptops, and the ash one we have it as tablets. So we want to write down the number of desktops sold in 2015, and desktop represent the dark bar. So that's 100. Write down the number of desktops sold in 2015, and this is 2015. So that's a dark bar. So that's going to be 100. And then we go to the next question. Work out the total number of laptops sold in the 3 years. Laptops in the last 3 years. So basically, what we're gonna do, we're gonna zoom out so that we can able to read values. So here is 100, and up here is about 260, and the difference is 160, and here is 120, and here is about 340. No, 300 and yeah, 340. So the difference for these two is definitely going to be 220. And over to 2017, the beginning of laptop is 160, and endpoint here is 440. And the difference between these two extremes, that's gonna be like 4 minus 1 is 3, so 200 and 280. Yeah, 280. So now we want to work out the sum. So if we add 160 plus 220 plus 280, just want to add it up here. 160 plus 220, add 280. So if we add it up, 160 plus 220 plus 280, that's going to give you 660. So the number is 660. So we in this number 4, and here's a scale, and on the scale you have A, B, C, and D. That shows the probability of each event. So now we want to write down the letter of the event that is setting, and for it to be setting, then it has to be D. Yeah, setting is 1, so that's D, setting for sure. And the next one, we want to write this number to the nearest thousand, but that's going to be 6,000. And the next one, Emma has 45 rabbits, so the sum here is 45. And we know 30 of the rabbits are male, 30 of the rabbits, 30 of the rabbits are male. Good. And 8 of the female rabbits Eight of the female rabbits have short hair, and that's going to be it here. Eight of the female rabbits have short hair, and we know next that 12 of the rabbits with long hair are male. 12 of the rabbits with long hair, okay, 12 of the rabbits with long hair are male, okay, yeah. So now we have to use information to complete the two-way table. So I know that if I have to complete the two-way table, then it's going to look something like this. 12 plus 1 will be 30. That's going to be 18. And 18 plus 8 is going to be 26. Yeah. And again, add down. What add to 26 to make 45? Will be 19. Yeah. Because 19 plus 6, 26 is 45. And next, what they add to 12 to get 19? That's going to be like 7. And 7 plus 8 is going to be 15. And that's it. So the next question, and here are the first four steps in number sequence 2, 5, 11 to 3. And the rule is multiply the previous by 2 and then add 1. Okay? Yeah, so multiply, we want by the 50, so multiply 23 by 2, that's 46, and add 1, that's 47. Here we need to simplify this. This is going to be 3 times 40, and that's going to be 12t. And now we want to write down the first even multiple of 7. Well, these are the multiples of 7. 7, 14, 21. Yeah. And then the list goes on. But we need the one that is an even, the first in the list that's even, and that's going to be 14. And number 10, here is a list of fractions. Now, one of the fraction is not 1 over 4. Which one? this is 1 over 4 if you cast it down. The same, this is 1 over 4. And if you also cast it down, this is 1 over 4. But 3 over 9 is 1 over 3. So this is the one that you don't need. So the fraction that's not equal to equivalent to 1/4 is definitely 3, 9. Okay, that's 3 over 9. So here are the first four numbers. Write which of these goes in the box to make the question correct. This is going to be -9. And it's going to be just 2. Pretty straightforward, right? And now write down the coordinate of the point A. And the coordinate of point A is 6 minus 2. Write this fraction, this percentage is a fraction. That's 20 over 100. Okay. Yeah. The 16. Here's the probability scale. It shows the chances of each of the events A to D. Write down the letter of the event that is unlikely. Unlikely definitely has to be B, okay? A is impossible, C is likely, and D is certain. So the one that is unlikely is definitely B. And for this, if you have to simplify this, you do 8a minus 3a, that's 5a, and add it to 2a, that's 7. So now we need to write the following numbers in the order of size, starting with the smallest number. Yeah. So looking at this a little bit carefully, this is the smallest number, 0.078. And the next bigger number is 0.708. And the next bigger number is 0.78, and the biggest number 0.87. So to do this is going to be actually be 8 times 4. Okay, so we draw a rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bring it down 4. Yeah, so this is the rectangle, and that's it. But but sometimes okay, I think that's basically that what we needed to do. So that's it. 8 times 8 centimeter times 4 centimeter. The number 21. So we know 3 kilogram of meat plus 54 pounds, and Nina buys 2 kilogram of the same meat. Work out how much she pays. So we know that 3 kilogram of the meat costs how much? I think 54 pounds. So you want to work out what 2 kilogram of the piece of meat is going to cost. So the first thing you want to do is work out the cost of 1 kilogram, and 1 kilogram is going to be 54 divided by 3. Okay, and that figure is going to be like 18 pounds, right? So if 1 kilogram weigh costs 18 pounds, 2 kilograms is going to be 18 times 2, which is going to be 36 pounds. Next question. The center of the circle is marked with a cross. Okay, write down the mathematical name of the straight line drawn on the circle. Okay, the name of this line is definitely the radius. So now we're going to work out 15% of 160 grams. Now, I want to look at this way. 10% 160 grams is 16 grams. And then, of course, we'll at 5%. That's half, okay? That's going to be like 8 grams. Okay, you have 10, you have this. And, of course, if you add 10 and 5, that's 15%. So 15%, you look at 16 plus 8, that's 24 grams. So the answer is 24 grams. Next, 2 plus 7 times 10. I think this is a bud math question, so you start with times. 7 times 10 is 70, and 2 plus 70, I think that's going to be 72. Okay, so we now come to step 26. We have to change this to meters, 365 centimeter into meters. So I think 100 meters make a centimeter. Okay, 100 centimeter make a meter. So I think here is going to divide by 100. So if you divide 365 divided by 100, I'm going to give you 3.65. And of course in meters. So for the next one, we have a stem and leaf diagram, and it shows information about Jake's computer. So Jake says his mother score was 6 point because 6 occurs more often. Is Jake correct? Well, let's look at the key. When you have 1 slash 2 is 12. Okay, 1 slash 2 is 12. And because if you look at the leaf part of it, you can see 6 actually occurs more than any other number, but that's not to say that the mode is 6. The mode has to, you have to include the stem part. So the mode has to be 26. So is J correct? No. The reason is that it has to connect, it has to have its stem. It has to it has to have its stem part also. So the mean is, not the mean, sorry. I mean to say the mode is 26. Next question. Harry, Rega, and Kevin share 450 pounds in ratio 2 to 5 to 3. How much does Keelan get? Okay, so we start with Harry. This is Harry, and this is Rega, and this is Keelan. And they share 450. They share this amount, actually, 450 pounds in ratio 2 to 5 to 3. So we want to know how much does Keelan get, okay? So first you add up the ratio. So if you add the ratio, 2 plus 5 plus 3, that's 10. And that 10, if you divide 450 divided by 10 to know how much each part gets. So that's 45. Yeah, you divide it, right? So that means Keelan is going to get 3 lots of 45. And that's going to be 135 pounds. So Keelan gets 135 pounds. So here's another question. To make 16 flapjacks, you need 120 grams of water, 140 grams sugar, 250 grams oats, and 2 tablespoons of syrup. So you want to know, Jenny wants to make 4 flapjacks, how much of each of them will it need? All right. So basically, I think I'll work it here. So for me, I'll draw a line here. I know. So for me, I think I'll have to divide by 2 to get 8 flapjacks. Okay. 8 flapjacks. Yeah, divide by 2. And from here, I'll now multiply by 3 to get 24, right? All right. So that's what I'm going to do with each of this. So that's 60 grams water, 70 grams of sugar, 125 grams of oats, and 1 tablespoon. And of course, to get for this, I'll have to multiply the value here by 3. So I'll have 180 grams of butter. I'll multiply it by 3 also. That's 210 grams of brown sugar. And multiply 125 by 3, 75 grams of oats. And of course, you're going to need 3, 1 times 3, that's 3 tablespoons of syrup. So that's taking the bits, right? So you need 180 grams of water. You need 210 grams of brown sugar. You need 375 grams of oats. And lastly, you need 3 tablespoons, right? So you have this question here. So P is 4x plus 3y, and x is 5, and y is minus 3. So what are the value of P? So P is then going to be 4x, but that's 4 times 5. Then you add y, 3 times y, but y is 2. So if you simplify this, that's 20 minus 6, and definitely this definitely going to be 40. And of course, if you expand this, 4e times e, that's 4e squared. And then 4e times 2, that's 8e. So the answer here is 4e squared plus 8. So there are 12 bags, 12 counters in the bag. 3 are red, 1 are blue, 2 are yellow, the rest are green. So Kathleen takes a random counter from the bag. So we need to show that the chances that the counter is yellow or green is 2 or 3. Alright. So what I think first we need to do is add up um, the colors of factors that we already have, which is 3 plus 1 plus 2, and of course the rest, which is going to call x, and if you add them, you get 12. So if you add this, that's going to give you 6 plus green, okay, and it was 12. So x definitely be 12 minus 6. It's going to be 12. It's going to be 6, right? So green. So this is just green, right? So now we want to show that the chances that the counter is yellow or green is 2 or 3. Now, again, for for yellow, you have to fit. So it's going to be probability of yellow or green. It's definitely going to be 2 at 2 over 12 and add 6 also over 12. Again, because they have the same denominator, still the same, and then at the top, that's 8. And of course, you can cancel down here. 4 into 8, 2. 4 into 12, 3. So we have just shown that it's definitely going to be 2, 8 over 3. Okay. So now we need to change 2.7 kilogram into grams. Again, 8,000 grams is the same as 1 kilogram. So to get 2.7 kilogram, okay, into grams, you have to multiply or rather divide the result, multiply the result by 1,000. So if you do 2.7 kilogram times 8,000, that's going to give you 2,700 grams. So number 35, we need to write an example to show that the following two statement is not correct. And the statement says the factors of an even number are always even. The factors of an even number are always even. Well, let's take the factors of 24. Okay. Now the factors of 24 are 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. So if you look at it, obviously you can see that this is already an odd number, and this is another odd number, and the rest are even number. I think so. Yeah. So that shows that the factors of an even number, okay, are not always even. Some of it are odd number. You get it now? Okay. 6. Okay. So now we have a set question. For set A, multiples of 5 between 14 and 26, and B are odd numbers between 14 and 26. So we have to list the members of A union B. So let's start out by looking at multiples of 5 between 14 and 26, and they are 15. Yeah, multiples of 5, 15, 20, and I think 25. Yeah. And for B, odd numbers between these numbers, 14 and 26, odd numbers, but 15 is odd number, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25. Okay, so these are the numbers. So now they want us to find list elements of A and B. So A and B definitely will be an intersection. The union of this, which is 15, 17, 19, 20, 21, 23, and just 125. And then we come to 40. And you want to add this. I think what you needed to do, because this is 2 over 5, add 1 over 4, I think you multiply this by 4 or by 4, multiply here by 5 and here by 5. So multiply 4 and 2 is 8 and divided by 4 and 5, 20. And the top is 5 and bottom is 20. And of course, if you add it, it's going to be 13 over 20. So it's 13 over 20. Put the 41. And we need to write this number as a product of its prime factors. So you're going to split this way, and 2 and 18. 2 is a prime. That's 18. That's 2 and 9. 2 is a 5. And 9 can be split into 3 and 3 and put it in a prime. So we can write 36 as 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Yeah, good. So that's it. That's how you do that. Here we need to expand it and solve. So multiply 3n, that's 3n, and 3n minus 4, that's minus 12, that's equal to 21. And add 12 on both sides. So that's going to give you 3n is equal to 21 plus 12. And here is 3n. And we add 21 plus 12, that's going to be 33. To get n, we divide 33 by 3, that's going to be 11. There are only red buttons, yellow buttons, and orange buttons in a jar. Okay? So we know the red buttons, yellow buttons, and orange buttons in the jar. And the number of red, yellow, and orange are in the ratio 7 to 4 to 9. So we want to work out the percentage of buttons that are orange for orange. So what I think we can do is to add up the ratio. So if you add 7 plus 4 plus 9, I think that's going to give you 20, right? So what you do, you're going to do the ratio for 9, which is 9, and you do 9 over the total sum, which is 20, and then multiply that by 100%. And of course, if you multiply that, 20 to 100, that's 5, and 5 times 9 is 45%.